the same week my cousin Lionel got married? But honey, Mervin's anniversary sale is back.
Don't miss Mervin's anniversary sale, going on now.
So, you want to go?
As I look out on this great Northwest, I feel a lot of pride.
It's Chevy Truck Time. Cashback and option discounts on 1992 full-size pickups up to $3,400. 92 Chevy S10 Tahoe pickups, V6 and more, $96.72 after rebate. The trucks you depend on at your local Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Driving you home in the great Northwest. Chevrolet Geo.
On our next current affair, he married 3 times. Mrs. Lewiston, I presume.
On this E.D.J., nearly everyone in show business knows someone who died of AIDS, but no one is willing to make a film about it.
They all ultimately said, this is a terrific movie. Good luck. It's not for us.
Why no one is yelling AIDS in a crowded theater.
They called him Mellow Yellow.
I was an alternative to the hysteria of rock and roll.
Quite rightly, Donovan, then and now.
And an acting school that's the cat's meow.
2/3 of the class really don't care about the industry.
Who said Hollywood's gone to the dogs?
The Thomas hearings played spoiler in TV's ratings race for CBS last week and helped NBC to its first weekly win in nearly 4 months.
I'm here for my name.
Here's how it happened. ABC won Friday night's ratings with the hearings, but NBC's second-place coverage was still a big help because it replaced shows that usually end up in the ratings basement. The baseball playoffs on CBS got their worst ratings ever, knocking that network into 3rd place last week. NBC was also helped by the season premiere of L.A. Law, which was the number 4 show for the week. The dependable Cheers was number 3. And although ABC's Roseanne was last week's top show, the Thomas hearings on Friday night alone outdrew it by 1 million viewers.
The Thomas hearings attracted a lot of viewers, but as virtually commercial-free zones, they could end up losing the network's tens of millions of dollars in advertising revenue. And the news doesn't get any better for network programmers. 4 weeks into the new TV season, several shows are in trouble. Mark Bailey is here on the early fall casualties.
Jim, this isn't just a case of a few TV shows not making it. The networks have truly run into a string of bad luck and tragedy. It started with the death of Michael Landon. CBS had counted on a hit with the veteran TV actor producing and starring in a show called Us. And last week, the death of yet another established TV star, Red Fox.
Well, who was that Marine begging me to marry him before he went off to Korea? I was horny. I didn't think I was coming back.
Funeral services for Fox were held yesterday. He died after suffering a heart attack on the set of The Royal Family. Producers say they will try to replace Fox's character and go on with the show. And CBS's woes continue with the departure of Julie Haggerty from Princesses.
Just be honest. Do you think I'm crazy to marry someone that I've only known for 6 weeks?
You're not crazy to marry a man who wears Armani suits and cashmere socks.
No reason was given for Haggerty's withdrawal. Production will cease for at least the next 4 weeks while the producers and the network huddle to decide the show's future. Once dominant NBC must be missing programming wizard Brandon Tartikoff about now. The Peacock Network wrongly assumed that the public was anxious to see James Garner on series television again.
The name's Jim Doyle. I've been appointed councilman for the 7th District.
Well, perhaps they were, but not in Man of the People. The low ratings for that show and Robert Guillaume's Pacific Station has sent both programs on hiatus. For now, the 2 sitcoms will be replaced by an hour-long country music variety show.
I believe we're closing in. Yes, sir. I believe we're closing in.
Not all the news about veteran stars is bad. Eyebrows were raised when the popular Matlock was not on the fall schedule, yet production continued. It now appears that NBC was just planning ahead. Andy Griffith will be back, replacing Tom Brokaw's Exposé and Real Life with Jane Pauley. Those programs will be combined to form a new hour-long news magazine anchored by Pauley. Brokaw will not be involved.
Honey,
Yes.
Guess what? I'm pregnant too!
Finally, the sad news that actress Katie Seagal suffered a miscarriage earlier this week. Fox's Married with Children was building their entire season around Seagal's pregnancy, with her character also being pregnant. Those involved with the show say it's too early to know how the show will be affected. Absent from all the network gloom and doom news so far is ABC, but that doesn't mean it's not having problems. Look for changes on Wednesday night. Despite strong lead-ins from The Wonder Years and Doogie Howser, two new ABC sitcoms, Sibs and Good and Evil, have so far failed to hold their audience.
Thanks, Mark. And what about NBC's Mark and Brian? Despite low ratings, a critical bashing, and competition from 60 Minutes, the show has so far avoided the axe.
Former child TV star Adam Rich was ordered to jail today after pleading not guilty to a burglary charge. As Jim Watkins reports, it's just one of several criminal cases pending against the troubled actor.
23-year-old Adam Rich has been no stranger to courtrooms this year. The former star of the 8 is Enough TV series faces separate charges of trespassing, violation of probation from a drunk driving conviction, stealing a drug-filled syringe at a hospital, and the charge he was here for today, burglarizing a drugstore last April. Admitting his client was addicted to prescription pain medication, Rich's attorney asked the judge to allow the actor to remain free so he could continue a drug treatment program he began last week. But the judge, saying he had to treat Rich like any other defendant, ordered him to jail and set bail at $20,000.
My concern is getting him some help. I would have hoped that the court's concern would have been that too. Posting an additional $20,000 bond, assuming that he can, doesn't change the situation. He's got to go into the drug program and get help from that.
Attorney Siegel said he didn't know if Rich's family could post bail. Rich is due back in court October 30th on the burglary charge.
Rich's attorney was also scheduled to appear in another California courtroom today, where the actor is being sentenced on one of his other charges, a misdemeanor count of trespassing.
The Thomas hearings and the Liz Taylor wedding, two media circuses with questions of invasion of privacy circling overhead. The Judge Thomases of the world need look no further than Hollywood next time the heat is on. Liz Smith serves up that bit of advice with today's Deep Dish.
Life is unfair, said John F. Kennedy. He was right. Let's examine the recent Clarence Thomas Anita Hill business that was a compelling show before the Senate recently. Thomas said that invasions of his privacy meant the country was going down the drain. My word, I think America is stronger than he does. It will take more than some fair or unfair lurid accusation to bring down the republic. Anyway, private invasion into the lives of big names is nothing new to us followers of showbiz. It happens all the time. As the good book says, it all depends on whose ox is being gored. Judge Thomas and this week A.M. Rosenthal of the New York Times both protest harassment by the press, and both their oxes have been gored. The judge by Anita Hill and TV, and Rosenthal by Spy magazine. So now both men cry for justice. How would they like to be Elizabeth Taylor, Tom Selleck, Dolly Parton, Cher, John Travolta, or any of the others who find themselves served up repeatedly with apples in their mouths by the supermarket tabloids, the gossip columns, and on Slash and Burn TV? People do get hurt in a free-speaking democracy where the libel laws aren't too strict. But if dying from scandal and innuendo afflicts the Judge Thomases and the Abe Rosenthals of the world, all we in entertainment can do is say, welcome to the club, boys. This is Liz Smith.
No industry has been hit harder by AIDS than show business. But in Hollywood, the creative silence is deafening.
Tell them. People say to me from hospital beds all the time, tell them what's happened here.
Part 3 of our special report on AIDS in the entertainment industry, when E.D.J. continues.
12 years ago, KGW-TV started the Buy Oregon First campaign as a means to encourage support for local businesses that grow or make products here in Oregon. Now we've teamed up with the Agribusiness Council of Oregon and their Pro-Oregon campaign called Landmark of Quality. Together, these two campaigns ask consumers to buy Oregon-made products whenever possible, because the dollar that stays in Oregon helps ensure a stronger local economy. So next time you're shopping, look for products with these two logos and buy Oregon First.
Why is it now whenever I come off a major highway, I get to the end of the exit ramp, invariably there's somebody there who wants to sell me roses? You know, because it's so frequently I have the major romantic interlude at the base of a main road.
Dennis Miller is coming to Portland November 3rd at 8 p.m. at the University of Portland's Early Child Center. Tickets go on sale October 7th at all G.I. Joe Ticketmaster outlets and at the University of Portland's Child Center.
A cold always starts small. A stuffy nose, a little sneeze. But before you know it, your cold is full grown. That's when you need Dimetap. If it was any stronger, you'd need a prescription. Doctor-recommended Dimetap Extend tabs work for 12 full hours. It's the way to relieve the congestion and sneezing of a full-grown cold. Maximum strength Dimetap Extend tabs. Relief for the full-grown cold.
He loves the outdoors, so he's like perfect in Oregon.
His idea of a fun time on the weekend is to pack it up and go and like camp out somewhere in eastern Oregon in a logging road somewhere.
It's kind of nice to get away from it and not hear telephones and scanners and news updates coming. Just the wind, just the birds.
No, I like the electricity and the shower, and I'll take the Holiday Inn over the campsite any day.
Real people really worth watching. News 8.
The major studios make movies on practically every imaginable subject, except one, AIDS. Considering the effect the virus has had on the entertainment business, the industry's silence is at best ironic and at worst tragic. Henry Schipper is here now with part 3 of our special look at AIDS in Hollywood. Henry.
Janet, AIDS is a subject that Hollywood has avoided like the plague. The studios have all sorts of excuses. The subject's too depressing. People won't pay to see it on the screen. But those excuses don't cut it with the thousands in show business who are suffering from the disease.
Break Hollywood silence! Silence equals death!
Silence equals death is the theme of the AIDS activist movement, and it's a theme with particular relevance for Hollywood. When it comes to doing what it does best, making movies, Hollywood has been utterly silent about AIDS. To date, not a single major studio has made a single feature film about the disease.
Lights, camera, AIDS action now!
10 years, 110,000 deaths, many of them in the film community, not one film.
Let's just imagine if there had been a heterosexual disease which had swept America in the way that AIDS did during the past 10 years. How many movies of the week would have been made by now?
I lose respect. They talk about wanting real stories. And here's a great story, and they've blown it. They've just blown it.
Most people are in the compromise business in Hollywood, and those compromises are so huge that one of the first things to go is tragedy about marginal people.
The main reason, of course, is that AIDS is still perceived as a gay subject, and homosexuality, especially homosexuality mixed with suffering and death, is not considered good box office. Hollywood had nothing to do with Longtime Companion, the only AIDS feature to be shown nationally. The picture was made in New York independently for the American Playhouse series on PBS. Every major studio was asked to distribute the film. All said no.
They, point blank said, no, we're not interested in gay stories. Everybody was positive about the script and the movie. And in a number of cases, they were wildly enthusiastic. But they all ultimately said, this is a terrific movie. Good luck. It's not for us.
Hollywood homophobia, or fear of homophobia in its movie-going audience, made it difficult to even cast a film like Longtime Companion, with its ensemble of gay roles. According to Lucas, every available actor of note was asked to work in the film. All said no. Hollywood's idea of an AIDS film, critics say, is Dying Young, the Julia Roberts weeper about a man who has all the symptoms of AIDS, but somehow doesn't have AIDS.
28 years old, bald, lives in San Francisco. You guess what the disease is. It's about a lot of the feelings that AIDS engenders, but never wants to mention AIDS at all.
Dying Young has done just that at the box office, and that, ironically, will probably make it that much harder for a genuine film about AIDS to get made. Indeed, HBO recently suspended plans to make a movie version of And the Band Played On, the acclaimed AIDS chronicle by Randy Schultz. HBO fired director Joel Schumacher when he refused to shoot what he considered to be a watered-down version of the script. All the other arts, theater, literature, painting, ballet,
$1 billion, one AIDS drug. 10 years later, these greedy thugs, they...
even rap, have dealt artistically with AIDS. Only Hollywood, the medium with the widest, most powerful reach, has been silent. And in its silence, has helped maintain the surreal invisibility of AIDS.
and the tens of thousands of people in this country alone killed by the disease.
It looks normal, but you're really in the middle of a war zone. And that's the big conflict. There are some of us who perceive living in that war zone, and there's other people who are working real hard to pretend they're not. And that's a problem.
We must measure our losses, and the way to measure them is to tell the stories. And somehow, if you tell the story well, you do honor to all those who have died. You know, when Oliver tells the story of this one platoon of men, he tells the story of all those 50,000 men who died in Vietnam. No one has told my story, which is not to take away from Longtime Companion or Parting Glances or Poison, but no one has told my story. You know, we sometimes feel like we're in the Warsaw Ghetto and the rest of Europe is going along around us merrily, and no one knows, no one understands. Tell them. People say to me from hospital beds all the time, tell them what's happened here.
Those stories aren't likely to be told soon, not on film at any rate. A couple of AIDS projects are in the Never Never Land known as early development, and that's it. One gay filmmaker bitterly predicted that the big Hollywood AIDS film will come out like Dances with Wolves, 100 years after everyone has died. Janet?
Well, Henry, ironically, the one feature film that's been made on AIDS has made money. The Oscar-nominated Longtime Companion has earned back 6 times its original cost of $1 million, and it played in only 72 theaters.
Coming up, the Sunshine Superman in middle age, Donovan, then and now.
May as well try and catch the wind. Buy Oregon first.
Today's consumer has many choices. It's important to know where your money is going. When you buy an Oregon product, you put money back into the state, which helps ensure jobs for Oregonians and strengthens the local economy. Oregonians take a special pride in the products and services produced, manufactured, or grown here. Oregon products are known worldwide for their quality and craftsmanship. So next time you're shopping, look for the Buy Oregon First landmark of quality logos and help support local businesses.
What could you have for dinner for just 45 cents a serving? Frozen? Nope. Restaurant food? No way. Fast food? For just 45 cents a serving, you could have a healthy dinner of cremettes. Maybe that's why more and more budget-conscious people are putting it on top of their shopping list. And if you want to stretch your food dollar further, just call 1-800-241-1600. You'll get a free cremette budget-stretching coupon and recipe book. Today, making more cremettes just makes more sense.
Dr. Science, why does Taco Time put that jalapeno pepper on top of every Mexi meal?
Contrary to prevailing theories of thermodietetics, that jalapeno is strictly a size reference. The Mexi meal is so massive, how they get it all on one plate is a mystery to me. How they make it all from scratch and yet serve it so economically is a mystery to Alan Greenspan. You're skeptical, I can tell. Try a Mexi meal.
And if I'm not completely satisfied?
Tell him we'll buy it back. Whoa, the chairman speaks.
Every week, News 8's Tracy Berry brings you good news.
But there's also some truly remarkable people that make a difference in their everyday lives. And occasionally we get to meet them and to share their stories. And I know it changes my life. I know I keep them with me. And I think it does for the viewers, too. You need to be uplifted once in a while.
Watch us weeknights.
Paula Abdul gets a tail, and Spike Lee gets an unwanted day off. Mitchell Fink is here now with those trade secrets.
Jim, if you're out and about and you notice a strange man following Paula Abdul, don't be alarmed. That strange man is actually a new kind of Hollywood bodyguard, a diet cop, if you will, paid to keep Paula from eating her way into the next dress size. Abdul's got a tour coming up, and apparently she needs to get back down to dancing weight. An actress who needs no slimming down, Ann Archer, has been given the lead opposite Harrison Ford in Patriot Games, the studio's follow-up to The Hunt for Red October. And finally, in one of life's little ironies, Spike Lee found himself humbled in New York on Monday, unable to shoot his Malcolm X movie because the unions, made up largely of Italians, had taken off for Columbus Day. I'm Mitchell Fink, and I worked on Columbus Day. Does this mean I get off for Hanukkah?
Hey, I didn't take off Columbus Day. Love-Ins, Flower Power, Peace Songs, and Donovan. We're not sure where the first three went, but we have located the Sunshine Superman. Here he is, then and now.
That year of 1965, people took me into their hearts. It would seem the lyrics meant something to my generation.
His name was Donovan Leitch, but the Scottish folk singer millions took to heart was known simply as Donovan. At 18, he found instant fame on British television. That same year, his ballads of love, peace, and consciousness drifted across the Atlantic.
We'll try and catch the wind.
During the general hysteria and celebration of the 60s, I was the one who would calm down an audience. And so, without cutting the enthusiasm of the 60s, I was an alternative to the hysteria of rock and roll.
I'm just mad about saffron.
But another folk singer had a 2-year head start on the mellow new star.
Donovan, with his Donovan.
Donovan was dubbed a Bob Dylan imitator.
The press made much of it, the battle of the two Ds, Dylan and Donovan.
I'll sing a song for you.
But it worked to both our advantages, and we met, and there was no competition between us.
Sunshine came softly.
By 1966, Donovan became a musical spokesman for the Flower Power generation. By the end of the decade, he'd landed on the U.S. pop charts 14 times. But soon after, his mellow yellow faded. And by the early 70s, it just wasn't cool to dig Donovan anymore.
I didn't really promote myself throughout the 70s. Especially, I had a family from about 70.
Donovan became a devoted family man to wife Linda and their 2 children. But for over 2 decades, he was estranged from his children by an earlier marriage. American actors Donovan Leitch Jr. and Ione Skye. Until recently, Ione had never met her famous father.
He was in town, and my brother sort of contacted him, and we just met him. I met my half-sisters.
One side of the family is getting to know the other side, and I think it's wonderful.
It'll be a slow process, but I think one day we might have some sort of relationship.
The river is white, the river is deep.
Donovan now lives in Ireland. He was in the States this summer on a small concert tour, a tour that comes on the heels of a Donovan revival last year in England.
Must be the season of the witch.
Now it seems audiences on both continents have rediscovered a soft spot for Donovan and his music. Music that he says carries the same messages as 25 years ago.
Ah, but I may as well try and catch the wind.
Now 45 years old, Donovan is planning to release a new album next year. It'll be his first in 6 years.
It's back to school for Hollywood fat cats, and skinny ones, too.
The most advanced roll then. The most advanced roll now. New Scott Towels Mega Roll. Double the towels of the leading regular roll, but not double the price. New Scott Towels Mega Roll for the new age of cost consciousness. The fastest way to figure savings then. The fastest way to figure savings now. New Scott Towels Mega Roll. Double the towels of the leading regular roll, but not double the price. New Scott Towels Mega Roll for the new age of cost consciousness.
Have you ever noticed what's hiding in your halibut? Lurking in your lasagna? Grease and odors that make dishes that taste great turn into the dishes that you hate. That's when there's nothing like Lemon Joy. Joy's powerful lemon formula cuts your worst grease and odors, so nothing's left on dishes but the shine. Next time a pot roast plagues your platter, Lemon Joy means all you smell is clean. All you see is shine.
Some occasions are planned in advance. Other events are not. In which case, a trusted name in auto glass, Speedy, always has a place reserved for you. We're close by, and whether it's a small ding repair or total glass replacement, we'll handle the entire problem and have you back on the road in next to no time. For all your auto glass needs, just call Speedy.
Who's going to give you the great taste of fall? Dairy Queen.
like our wholesome grilled chicken sandwich and famous Blizzard flavor treat, Dairy Queen. Or how about this? Our world-famous thick Dairy Queen shakes. Or our juicy, hot home-style burgers. Your choice for only 99 cents. The 99-cent burger or shake sale. Another great taste and great sale for fall. Available only where we treat you right. Dairy Queen.
Brenda's work is something that you kind of, all you can do is admire it. At least all I can do is admire it, because I certainly couldn't copy it or do anything similar to that.
She sees it, it goes in her brain, and then it comes back out into her hand and onto a piece of paper or onto a piece of canvas.
I'm constantly going, why can't I do that?
We all swear that we're going to do is like start taking her doodling and start hoarding it and saving it for, like, you know, when she becomes the famous Brenda Bratt.
Real people really worth watching. News 8.
Finally, everybody knows it's dog-eat-dog in Hollywood, and tonight we take a look at one group of actors trying desperately to claw their way to the top. There's no shortage of animals on TV and the big screen, but it's really gone to the dogs. Where are the cats? Finicky Morris may be the reigning superstar of feline actors, but he's been relegated to pitching cat food. There's a reason Morris gets paid to just sit there while dogs get the meatier roles.
Because dogs are much more trainable. People say I've trained Morris, but I haven't. He's just a very workable cat, and under the right situations, of course.
Morris wannabes can make the most difficult stars look like pussycats, as we found out when we visited the Cat Connection in Los Angeles. Sandy Worth runs this kiddie college that tries to transform feisty felines into Hollywood fat cats.
I got into the premise that all animals should have a job to do. So that's why I started working with the cats.
Pussycat, pussycat, I love you.
Her own quartet of kitties have earned thousands of dollars for everything from commercials to bit parts in movies. Worth feels many of her other furry students have just as much promise as her own litter.
You always hear they don't want to please you, but I found that quite to the contrary. You just have to start on one end of the bridge, the cat on the other, and meet in the middle. It's called operant training. With cats, it's very much like working with dolphins. You ask them to do something, and I say ask, we don't command. You also have to be very enthusiastic yourself. You can't say, come. You say, come. You have to get real excited. And that works because it sounds like a meow.
Worth admits it can take years of training, and not all of her would-be Morrises will become household names.
2/3 of the class really don't care about the industry, the entertainment industry. They just want to do a bonding, another bonding to their cat. And we call it stretching them and stretching ourselves, stretching together.
But for every acquiescent actor, there are many more rebels with claws, such as this one named Einstein. They may not all get jobs, but every student gets a diploma at Kitty College and Oscar-like prizes, even Einstein. You may not believe this, but Einstein reminds me a lot of my agent.
Really?
Yes.
Could it be that we have the same one?
It could be.
I'm Janet Zapala.
I'm Jim Moray. That's Entertainment Daily Journal.
See you tomorrow.